The Roman Gabriel Show. Listen to The Roman Gabriel Show at RomanGabrielShow.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Roman Gabriel Show.
The Roman Gabriel Show.
Roman Gabriel Show.
Jack Youngblood here, promoting Gabe
On the new
Roman Gabriel Show.
He's the best. Listen to it.
Welcome to the Roman Gabriel Show, RomanGabrielShow.com, anywhere you get your podcast, streaming on DBNA television.tv, all your social sites. And we're excited today on another episode of the Roman Gabriel Show to have a great champion with us. You'll remember her as a great track champion, 1968 gold medalist, 800 meters. Madeline Manning is with us on the Roman Gabriel Show, and she's got a whole bunch of great stuff going on using her platform from her Olympic fame to do a lot of great things out there. Madeline, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here with you.
The Olympics is such a special thing to so many people in our country. And you were around during a very volatile time. That first Olympics in Mexico in 1968. Tell me about the atmosphere of Mexico and the Olympics that year for you.
Well, for me personally, being a young girl in my second year of college at Tennessee State University with a high-profile group of ladies who were top in the world, the Tiger Bells. And this is where Wilma Rudolph came out of that school, and she would come back and visit us and encourage us. And so we always thought internationally. We didn't just think, in fact, they didn't have conferences for girls back then. They had them for the guys, but not the girls. And so we would often be asked to go to international competitions to compete. So our whole focus was toward the Olympic Games. And of course, this was new to me. You know, I had come out of the Cleveland area. Cleveland, Ohio was my hometown. And I had really not been a whole lot of places except for anything that I did that involved track. And all of a sudden, here I am with a group of ladies who were the best in the United States and some best in the world. And our coach, Ed Temple, was telling us, you know, let's focus on being number one and going toward the Olympic Games with that in mind to win. So I had that happening, but at the same time, there was so much chaos in the United States going on. There were people that would actually come onto our campus and for no reason just start shooting up in the air. I can recall trying to get from the track to my dormitory one day when this shooting started and actually running from tree to tree because I didn't know where the bullets were coming from or where they were going. It was quite upsetting, of course. But we made the Olympic team, had some of the most outstanding athletes ever on that Olympic team. And so once we got together, you know, we were quite closely a family. I know a lot of people look at John Carlos and Tommy Smith and their human interest. You know, a lot of people said, you know, that was the Black Power thing. It was not a Black Power thing. It was a human interest that they were trying to help people understand that we need to be fair to all ethnicities, and especially in our country. And they wore their little badges that said that, you know, the human interest. And it was a different thing. The girls now, including myself, I was just a little bit clueless of what was going on. I didn't know a whole lot of stuff was going on. I didn't know a whole lot of things was happening right there in Mexico City at the university with the situation that they were dealing with. All I was interested in at the time was training, getting my sleep, eating well, you know, and preparing myself to train and compete at the highest level. and give my best. And of course, my faith had a lot to do with it. So there was no chaplains around at that time. There was nobody to talk to. And
well, I was gonna ask you, obviously there weren't great opportunities in sports for women at that time, not
No.
like today.
Oh, no.
With Title IX and all the different sports that are equally distributed at colleges.
Right.
Was track a first love, or was it just something that you knew that you could do really well that would get you to where, you'd have an opportunity to do some things that maybe you wouldn't get any other way?
Well, I actually was discovered in high school. I was so shy, I probably wouldn't have said anything to anybody or gone out for anything, but it was during the President Kennedy's had this physical fitness thing. Do you remember that?
Fitness council, I remember in high school, that went all the way to Reagan.
Exactly. And we had to give our best, and I did really well. At the end of that whole scenario, they came to me after I had tried to do it over and over again, getting a better score, and said, it's over now, but we have noticed that not only have you set school records, but you've also set national records in the country. You're one of the top physically fit girls in the country. And they said, why don't you get into some type of sport? So I said, okay, what you got? So I went into volleyball, basketball, and track. And track gave me an opportunity because there was a coach Alex Ferenczi from Hungary, who was coaching a girls team that was a mixture of all the best in the schools around Cleveland. And he asked my mother if he could work with me. And so I all of a sudden.
How old were you at the time?
How old was I? 15.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 15 when I met him. And by 16 and 17, he had really gotten me into running. Really, I was a sprinter. I began as a sprinter, and then all of a sudden I went into the middle distance, only because they were like, you got the longest legs, why don't you go out there and run the quarter? And I'm like, I'm not sure. That's a long way. But then I ended up breaking the school record, and then the next thing I knew, that's when he talked to my mom to have me come down and work out with the girls. And so within a year, I was state champion, and then went on to be a national champion. And they took me off of that as a 17-year-old girl. And we went over to Russia, Poland, and West Germany. And my world just started changing really quickly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Madeline Manning is with us, gold medalist from the 76 Olympics in the 800. She also won a silver medal. Is that right? At the next Olympics, correct?
That's right.
4x4, is that right?
That's correct.
Who was the other three in that group?
Oh, Cheryl Toussaint. And then there were two sisters, and one of the sisters ran on there, and I can't remember her name. And then Kathy was the girl who was she did the last part of it. That year was very challenging to me, because that was in 72 when we had the Black September invasion, which actually they're representing the 50th year this year. That happened. That whole year was just traumatic for me. It was very traumatic. And I ended up having to deal with seeing what was happening directly in my face. And the women's dormitory for the girls' track and field was directly across from the Israeli dormitory. And so we watched a lot from our porch until they shut us all down and had us come out. But yeah, that was, sometimes I share that story as I'm sharing with different groups about, my love for Israel and what happened to me, because one of the athletes actually was from Cleveland that was killed in that situation.
Yeah, that for the whole world was a wake up call. I was
Yep.
young enough. I think at that time was in middle school. I'm in middle school, but we remember watching it. It was startling. I mean, nothing had ever happened like that ever
Right.
before to that degree. And of course, not having the media to cover things like moment by moment, there was so much uncertainty, right? Was that true with you guys there too?
Well, what happened is Cheryl and I ended up going over to the basketball men's dormitory because they got locked out. They locked down the whole Olympic Village where you couldn't get in or out. And so in doing that, they got locked out, but they had this huge screen TV in their down in their foyer. And we went over there to look and see what was going on, trying to figure it all out. And we saw quite a bit on the German television. Actually, we saw the actual blow up of the 2 helicopters, and that's something I'll never forget. That was
Madeline
ripping.
Manning is with us on the Roman Gabriel Show, romangabrielshow.com. And Madeline, you would have had an opportunity to be in your 4th Olympics in 1980 in Moscow. When did you find out from the athlete's perspective when we boycotted Russia in the Moscow Olympics? When did you actually find out that wasn't going to happen?
Actually, it was still somewhat uncertain at the Olympic trials, but it was pretty much like, okay, if you make the trials and you make the team, then if we go, you'll get to go. And if not, but it was so much uncertainty that a lot of athletes quit. They just quit trying anymore. I really felt for some of the athletes in Tokyo, that gave up also because if they weren't sure if there was going to be an Olympics for them. And so I know how that feels, because some days you get up and you like, let me go for it, let's do it. Other days you get up and wonder, why am I doing this? What's in this for me? What if there's nothing? But one of the things that I had to realize, is that God made me an athlete, and that's what I did. And so I would go as far as I could with it. And I'm glad that I did, because we got a beautiful award, a gold medal from that was given by the Congress, our Congress, for the outstanding achievement of making that team. Of course, most people don't know that the track and field team actually went, after the games were over, we then went on a tour. And the first place we went was to Leningrad and competed against the Russians. And then we went on tour around the world. It ended up in China. And so it's not like we didn't go anywhere and compete. We did. We just weren't at the Olympic Games in Moscow.
The Roman Gabriel Show.
The future leaders of America, I think it's awesome that we have these people influencing us,
showing us great role models, people that we can look up to.
And it's good to have this come in and be a positive in our lives.
I learned a lot from it, and I'm really excited to go on the website and learn more about it.
I said, let's do this. Let's get people in the room to support what you are doing across Southern California and indeed across the nation.
We appreciate the Sold Out program. I always tell our kids, you got to put in 110% into everything that you do.
I took the Sold Out pledge. I was very excited about it.
I do know that Roman Gabriel puts his heart and soul into helping youth stay sober and clean of drug and alcohol.
Roman has the biggest heart in the world, not just trying to help kids himself, but he's pulling in the best people that he knows and he can find.
His foundation is fantastic. I'm here to support it.
We just had our Sold Out program in our assembly. Definitely recommend it.
To leave any positive influence on these kids.
But his vision for kids and for people is amazing.
It's cool to have this platform where I can
go out there and impact kids' lives.
Sports is such a big part of our culture, and we can come to people in so many ways through sports. Having a network like this that can show people and encourage people.
The tools that Roman and the organization are able to give them are critical, especially at this point in time.
Mr. Gabriel's program Sold Out is crucial and critical to these ninth graders. As they enter ninth grade, they encounter a lot more peer pressure than they ever have encountered in their life.
It's awesome to have Sold Out here today, speaking truth in the lives of our students.
It changed my life, and I feel like I can do anything as well.
To give them guidance, to tell them the proper steps, how to achieve their goals.
We're constantly fighting with drug and alcohol abuse and teaching our kids the right way to live. Mr. Gabriel does a wonderful job.
We got to get kids back in sports, outside, vitamin D, healthy foods, and this is what it's all about.
Inspire youth, keep them away from addictive behavior, and give them a set of values.
You know a school that wants to get involved, reach out to me so we can get this program into your school, so we can invite your kids in your school to the Sold Out Youth Foundation.
I think it's a great foundation to donate.
The Roman Gabriel Show.
You know, I had Sonia Richards-Ross on the show.
Oh, yeah?
When she came out with her book.
Yes.
And we talked about, I'm going to ask her the same question I asked you, or asked her. How difficult, because people just don't realize the commitment that it takes, whether it's the Winter Olympics or the Summer Olympics, knowing that that moment comes around every 4 years. How did you handle the pressure that comes with that, with the trials and with the Olympics and with that process? Tell me about your process and about your mindset and how you approached the preparation for the trials, up to that, that year when everybody's paying attention.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you work your butt off. You can't halfway do this to make it. You can't one day feel like you're going to do it, and the next day, well, I think I'll take off. You have to really be committed. And to have that type of commitment, you've got to believe that you have something that is God-given, a gift to you, that you're ready to produce to its highest ability. Of course, my faith has a lot to do with everything I do. And so I had a very strong prayer life. And, there are times that I would be so nervous and I put so much pressure on myself. You ever been there?
Yeah.
That you put so much pressure on yourself. You have to release it some way. And one of the ways I would release it is I would go into the bathroom, go into one of the stalls and cry. And just to release some of the
Was this before every race?
Not every race, but the big ones, definitely.
Ones,
yeah. I would just cry and ask, Lord, why am I here? Why did I could have gotten out of this? All I had to do was not show up. And the Lord, I was just pray and say, are you here with me now? Please be here with me now. And he said, I choose to be. I choose to be with. I'm not in the stands. I'm not coaching you. I choose to run every step with you.
I like your routine better than mine. Mine was feel like you're going to throw up and go into the pen shower, and I never threw up ever. But felt like I was gonna, and then I would kneel down and say my prayer, and then I would be fine. But that was every game for me.
Yeah, well, I did have a certain scripture that I would say that would give me so much peace. And that was Psalms 119:14. And it said, I will pay my vows unto the Lord now in the presence of all his people. And it would bring the picture into a place where I could handle it.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about all the people and all the competition and the times, and I got to do this, and it would just bring it back down where I could deal with it. And I realized, okay, this is for your glory, Lord, not for mine. And in doing that, a peace would come over me that would calm all those nerves down. I would then I would start focusing on what I had to do.
Madeline Manning is with us on the Roman Gabriel Show, romangabrielshow.com. And Madeline, was your toughest competition from the U.S. girls? Was that the Olympic trials?
My toughest competition was basically from the Europeans.
Okay.
I was
they
quite
were
ahead of
long
my
distance.
time.
They were the biggies in long distance at that time.
And yeah, in middle distance and everything. They there are a few experiments that they would try on their athletes, and a lot of times, it would give them an advantage. But I'm very proud to say that, I've never taken anything to enhance what I do. I just worked hard and I prayed and asked God to use me to his glory. And that's what I did. I went out there not to try to prove that I was really better than somebody else, because all of us are in the same basket. But to give it all I had. And that was fair to my competition, the people I competed with, and I never looked at them as enemies. It's one of the things I share with kids. You never look at your competition as enemies, because if they weren't there, who would you run against? You need them to be there to compete. But, as I travel around, one of the things I try to encourage the kids about is that, basically what you do is a God-given gift. And you have to look at it that way. Don't cheat him. Don't cheat yourself by cheating him out of what is his, and to give it all you have. And so, I'm doing some different things. I'm working with Brandy. I think Brandy Gibson. Yeah. And she's such a precious lady, and she's wanting me to get out more. I've been really inside a lot until last year.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, with what's going on, it changed everybody, right? I mean, what
I
we're
know.
doing right now, I had never attempted until COVID. I mean, the whole Zoom thing, and
yeah,
that's a great accomplishment when we talk about 3 Olympics. It could have been 4 if Moscow would have happened. What was your toughest thing you had to overcome in your track career? The toughest challenge?
I think my toughest challenge was my workouts.
Is that right?
Yeah, because in my training, it got really serious. When you're on the top, everybody is coming after you, everybody. And to be able to stay there, you have to keep doing better. And there's a point where you get that you're at your peak. And so those are probably my toughest times. But I was glad to say I had another gift. I sing.
I saw that. Tell us about that.
So yeah, I actually met my last coach, Terry Jameson, who was in the business of audio. And I happened to go to a meet where he had some middle distance girls that he wanted me to talk to. And so we started talking, and I said, well, what all do you do? And he said, well, I have a hobby and working with, different people who sing and I said, oh, I sing. He said, okay, well, how well do you sing? And I said, well, I just did a song called Through It All. He said, oh, okay. Well, I know the person who wrote that. I was thinking, yeah, well, everybody knows him. And so we got to talking. Long story made short, he sent down my information and me singing to Nashville. And they said, set her up for a concert. Let's see how she does with people. And that's how it started. Now, the weird thing is that I remember being on the circuit, the running circuit, and I was standing on the line getting ready to run when they announced in lane 4 from the United States of America, we have a young lady who is not only a runner, but she is also a gold medalist and a singer, a gospel singer. And they said, she will be singing for us tonight at the banquet. I was looking like,
Wow.
what?
You performing, you got it all going on. Were you serving the food that day at the trailer?
I tell you, well, it got to the other meat promoters, and they kept doing this. And all of a sudden I kept finding myself singing at things after the meet was over. But it opened up a major door for me. So, I kind of come out of my running career right into my singing career and speaking career. And then I start traveling all over the world. And it was in 2003 that I was called to prepare. Actually, in 1984, I was actually called to Los Angeles to help some athletes know how to use their platform in the secular arena to share their faith.
Really?
Yes. And so they asked, would you come in and just kind of like do your thing so they can get an idea of how this goes? So I did. And after that, it was 1988 that I started doing chaplaincy at the Olympic level.
Yeah, I saw it. So you're actually the founder and president of the United States Council for Chaplaincy, or were, is that right?
I am. That's what I had to realize, that, there was nothing training chaplains for sports, nothing out there. And here I am in the midst of it at an Olympic level. And I realized in 2003 that I needed to develop an academic program that will help Olympians and Paralympians later on, when they allowed them to come, help them to study in pastoral care and to take it back into their sport and become chaplains, because who better can know about the culture and all the things that go on at an Olympic Games other than an Olympian themselves. So that's what the United States Council for Sports Chaplaincy is all about. And it's a volunteer type thing, but it is an academic program that I've raised up.
That is impressive. I worked for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes for 5 years and had the opportunity on many occasions to chaplain, pregame football. It was always a joy and very exciting from the college and high school level. But this is very interesting, because now I suppose that's a big part of the Olympic experience, is having these experienced chaplains available, correct?
Well, at the Olympic level, it's been actually, that's what I did my doctorate on, because it's been a real battle. There are too many people there at one point who really felt like it didn't belong. But now, since we are looking at the mental health aspect, now they're saying, well, maybe we need the spiritual health aspect.
We're in Tampa, Florida at Super Bowl 55. I'm fired up. We're at Webb Middle School, ready to go. This could be a lot of fun. Let's do this. SoldOutTV.com for everything you need. Sold Out students. It's going to be alcohol and drug abstinent. Could somebody real quickly raise their hand and tell me what that means to be alcohol and drug abstinent? Beautiful. Okay, so no alcohol or drugs at all. That's called abstinence.
Making good decisions, not getting involved in alcohol and drugs at an early age.
1 or 2 people in your life that you can trust.
Goal setting.
How many of you guys in here set goals? You set goals regularly for your academic life, your extracurricular life, in the community.
And success. And
successful people have a game plan, and they do it every single day, and they have an intentional plan about how they're going to do it.
Surrounding yourself with good, successful people.
Because I know the kids of you watching.
How many of you guys in here are going to take that pledge? Raise your hand. Let me know that you're going to take it. Up high. Let me see it.
I took the Sold Out pledge, and I was very excited about it.
I really appreciate the Sold Out program coming. I always tell our kids, you got to put in 110% into everything that you do, and don't let anybody ever tell you that you can't do something. We need to go to SoldOutTV.com, take the Sold Out pledge, because you got to pledge to abstinence. You got to pledge to being the best version of yourself.
The values and the principles that your organization they teach and they talk about resonate with me personally. And they also resonate as a business.
Everything's there, from the Sold Out pledge to the 365 video program to the health and fitness program.
It's cool to have this platform where I can go out there and impact kids' lives.
Not about what other people think. It's about what we think, how we prepare, and how we play.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching The Roman Gabriel Show. And for more exclusive video and audio archives, go to our official website at RomanGabrielShow.com. That's RomanGabrielShow.com. And enjoy. We'll see you soon.
Listen to The Roman Gabriel Show at RomanGabrielShow.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.